On this edition of Good Day DePaul, Chicago reacts to the election of its very own homegrown pope.
Student investors at DePaul. Some see opportunities in this ever-changing stock market.
And DePaul students around the city participate in Vincentian Service Day. I'm Vivian Manson.
And I'm Francesca Corona, and this is Good Day DePaul.
The College of Cardinals has selected the first American pope. And if that wasn't enough, Pope Leo comes from right here in the Chicago area. Good Day DePaul's Aaron Gessert takes a closer look at how the city and the world are reacting to this historic development.
On the morning of May 8th, white smoke poured out of the Sistine Chapel, signaling a new pope had been selected. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, a 69-year-old Chicago native, is now the first ever American pope.
Through the ministry of Peter, you have called me to carry that cross and to be blessed with that mission.
To the 1.4 billion Catholics worldwide, he will be known as Pope Leo XIV.
I just felt like this is a guy who is going to be close to the needs of the people, especially because he chose the name Leo.
The pope took the name Leo after Pope Leo XIII, who served as a pope from 1878 to 1903 and was known for his commitment to social issues and workers' rights.
Leo XIII was the first pope that started to talk about caring for workers and making sure everybody had the dignity of work. And what we talk about as Catholic social teaching now was really started under Leo XIII.
This year's papal conclave was one of the shortest in history, with Prevost being selected after the second day of voting.
I was moved because for me it was a total sign that the Holy Spirit was at work, that the Holy Father was elected so quickly.
Prevost grew up in South Suburban Dolton, attending school at St. Mary of the Assumption on the far south side of Chicago. In 1982, he received his Master of Divinity from the Catholic Theological Union in Hyde Park. Shortly after he was ordained, Prevost served as a missionary in Peru. He worked there for over a decade and later returned as Bishop of Chiclayo, Peru in 2015. For Mark McGuire, a recent convert to Catholicism, Pope Leo's past work as a missionary speaks to him.
I see so much passion and engagement people having with their faith, with the church, with their faith communities. And so a missionary pope is exactly what we need as we grow the church.
Many were surprised that an American was selected.
All of the commentary before the selection indicated that an American pope was extremely unlikely because the Catholic population is not growing in the United States, and it is growing in other parts of the world. There's also a thought that because the United States was so powerful and dominant politically and militarily, that there was some reluctance to also have an American as pontiff.
Some say he was selected for who he is, not for where he's from.
It was clear that he had something that Pope Francis recognized, and obviously the other cardinals recognized it too.
In 2023, Pope Francis appointed him to lead the Dicastery for Bishops, the department that oversees the selection of bishops. That same year, Francis made him a cardinal. Kavanaugh says these appointments prove he was fit to lead the church.
He is a collaborator. He ran his diocese in Peru on a real kind of collaborative basis. So he will carry forward synodality, this idea that the church needs to listen to people and not just teach.
Pope Leo is seen to share many of his predecessors' views on social justice issues, particularly on immigrants' rights and climate change. Some expect him to continue Pope Francis's path of looking out for the marginalized, but they're not sure he'll be as outspoken.
When it comes to some big issues such as, Russia invading Ukraine or the treatment of immigrants, Pope Francis was not afraid to speak out, and I expect that Pope Leo XIV will also speak out, but in a more measured way. Pope Francis was known for expressing his views pretty quickly. From everything I've read, Pope Leo is going to be more cautious in how he approaches things.
Catholics across Chicago were surprised when they learned of Pope Leo's local roots. Both his parents were DePaul alums. Many say they're inspired by Leo and feel a sense of unity under his new leadership.
I know the entire world, including Americans, are divided right now, so hopefully he can serve as that pillar and that testament to more unity and in the American Catholic faith, but also for the Universal Church in general as well.
He presents an alternative to the divisiveness and the despair that we're seeing in the world right now.
Derek Swanson, pastor of St. Vincent de Paul Parish, trusts the new pope will follow the mission of Christ to serve those in need.
I think it's at the heart of who we are as Catholics and Christians. And I think, too, that because those are needs in the world right now, and we're a church that serves people, when we can have the character of serving the most poor and vulnerable and do that well, that then gives a sign for us that we do live out that love of God, the compassion of God, forgiveness of God in all of our works.
For Good Day DePaul, I'm Erin Gessert.
The stock market. It's been on a roller coaster since the Trump tariffs went into place, but one DePaul investor is hopeful. Good Day DePaul's Kirsten Reedford has the story.
The Trump tariffs are causing uncertainty in the stock markets, but one student at DePaul sees the recent market downturn as a green light to start investing.
I invested more after it dipped.
Freshman David Ozdoba started investing a year ago when he turned 18. He started by buying stocks on the S&P 500 index fund, and now he also owns shares in Amazon and Microsoft. The S&P 500 index fund is a collection of the top 500 American companies. When people buy shares from that fund, they become partial owners of all 500 companies. Financial experts say the fund is one of the easiest ways to get into investing. Since Donald Trump assumed the presidency in January, the stock market has seen significant lows and dramatic comebacks.
The ups and downs we are seeing are called volatility.
Volatility is normal. The market has had, since 2002, periods where the market went down over 40%. And so it is not unusual, but it always seemed to recover and go higher than it was before.
The averaged peak to trough drawdown in the equity markets is like 14% a year on average that you'll see a drop. No, a lot of times it's always come back in the past.
Ozdoba says that when the market drops, it's actually helpful to new investors because the price of stock is lower, offering opportunities for profits later. But some investors are selling their stocks because of movements in the market. Financial analyst Jeremy Overton says investors should not sell when the markets are falling.
All the failed investors that I've encountered up close failed because they were continually reacting to current events and always going the wrong way.
Ozdoba feels this is the time for students to buy in, not sell.
Even if you buy at the worst possible period, it's been shown that over 10, 20 years, your investment will grow exponentially.
Let's say you're putting $100 a paycheck into the market. When the market goes down, you're buying more shares for that $100. And then when the market recovers, that will increase it.
Ozdoba says some are afraid to buy into the stock market now because of the state of the economy. The economy shrank by a 0.3% annual rate from January to April. This is the first decrease in economic output since 2022.
But since the beginning of this month, the S&P 500 index fund has seen its largest gain since November 2020. It has also seen its longest winning streak of 8 days, the longest in 20 years.
Meanwhile, President Trump says what Americans are seeing is a transition period before the economy grows strongly. Ozdoba isn't so sure.
It's hard to say right now if we're transitioning to a very strong economic period or if we're going down to a recession.
What is next for the stock market is unknown. In the past, the market has normally bounced back, and experts are hoping that will happen again. For Good Day DePaul, I am Kirsten Reedford.
DePaul's annual pop culture conference was recently held on the Loop campus. The focus, reality television. Good Day DePaul's Riley Moulton was there.
The DePaul Pop Culture Conference is an annual gathering that bridges the worlds of fandom and academia. It brings together fans, scholars, creators, and media professionals to engage in conversations about the significance of popular culture and cult media. This event is run and managed by Professor Paul Booth of the College of Communication. He describes the event as seeing the world in a different way.
And I started the Pop Culture Conference because I saw a lot of similarities between the way fans would discuss and talk about pop culture and the way academics would discuss and talk about pop culture, but they never really seemed to talk to each other, and they almost never talked to the people that are actually making pop culture.
The conference not only looks at pop culture, but also raises money for a different charity each year. This year, the theme of the conference was reading reality TV.
People love reality TV, and then people get fired up when they find out how the sausage is made, for lack of a better word. So it's a very unique situation to bring a whole bunch of people that are very passionate together. You're going to get some really good people watching. I had a couple on my season of Love is Blind that were good people stuck in tough situations at times.
At this year's event, 5 speakers offered their insight on all things reality TV. This was Ed Swiderski, winner of The Bachelorette, Nick Thompson, cast member of Love is Blind Season 2, Heather Porter, line producer, Emily Nussbaum, author of Cue the Sun, and Chad Koltgen of the Game of Roses podcast, who also judged a hug jump, better known as Hooju, competition. This year's charity is ProPublica, a nonprofit newsroom dedicated to investigative journalism. The Pop Culture Conference serves as both a celebration of fandom and a serious scholarly forum, emphasizing the importance of pop culture as a way to understand society, identity, and change. The conference includes fans, critics, producers, and more. Vendors fill the communication hub with themed items, and the conference even publishes a book every year of essays that have been presented at the conference. DePaul grad student Delaney Goebel helped produce this year's book.
I'm somebody who wants to go into academia. I've been very interested in becoming a professor and working in research, so it was very cool to get the opportunity to actually edit the book and go through other people's works and see all the various different aspects of reality TV that I had never considered before, and I feel like this was just such a special opportunity that Paul Booth gave me.
As an event organizer, I think it's important that your event does something more than just entertain people. I think it has to do some good in the world. So I hope we've done a little bit of that too.
For more information about this year's Reading Reality TV, you can visit popcultureconference.com. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Riley Moulton.
Next on Good Day DePaul, students give back on Vincentian Service Day.
And DePaul Sports, Riley Moulton catches us up on all the latest. Stay with us.
I think we should split. Split up? Why? I want to meet new people. People who need me. Meet new people? You're my left kidney. You only need one of me, man. And you have 2. There are plenty of people out there who are dying because they don't have one. Really? You'll be giving the gift of life. I could be a hero. Yeah. It's all win-win up here, buddy. Why don't you go and save a life, pal? You're doing the right thing.
DePaul students came together recently to serve communities around the city on Vincentian Service Day. Good Day DePaul's Joseph Francis has the story.
Each year, DePaul carries out its Vincentian mission with one of its biggest traditions, Vincentian Service Day. This year, the university community came together to serve neighborhoods across Chicago. The day began with a kickoff rally, filling the Lincoln Park practice arena with students, alumni, and faculty. Some even dressed as St. Vincent's de Paul and St. Louis de Marillac to honor the university's namesake and mission. Before heading out to service sites, students and others shared in a moment of reflection. 3 prayers were offered, 1 Christian, 1 Jewish, and 1 Muslim, showcasing the interfaith unity at the heart of DePaul's values. After a morning full of inspiration and celebration at this Vincentian Service Day kickoff, students did not waste any time getting to work. I'm here at the Howard Area Community Garden where students are literally digging in to give back to their local communities. In doing so, students traded books for shovels, digging in and doing the work. The garden is one of Chicago's oldest and largest community gardens. It supports the local community, not just with green space, but with fresh produce. It has 48 individual plots which give residents an opportunity to grow their own fresh fruit and plants. The volunteers planted vegetables like tomatoes and cabbage, crops that will be harvested in the summer. For DePaul student Stoyak Nunez, one of the site's leaders for Vincentian Service Day, it's more than just a day of volunteering. It's a chance to reconnect with the community. He chose this site because of its deep roots in the neighborhood and the real impact it makes.
I chose to participate in Vincentian Service Day just because I wanted to see what I can do for the community, what impact I could have, and what opportunities were available. This one in particular, just because it's my community, and I didn't know this was an opportunity until I saw it on the DePaul website. And once I found out about it, I figured, hey, you know what? Let's see what this is all about.
At Howard Area Community Garden and across the city, it was a day of giving, growing, and grounding. Proof that service still has deep roots at DePaul. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Joseph Francis.
Riley Moulton is here now with Good Day DePaul Sports. So Riley, some big awards for DePaul athletes.
That's right, Vivian. In softball, DePaul's senior second baseman, Bailey Cosgrove, has been named to the All-Big East second team. Cosgrove hit .320 for the season and started all 47 games for the Blue Demons. In track and field, DePaul's Alex Bernstein and Cash Allen have been named the Big East Men's and Women's Field Athletes of the Week. At the recent Gary Weineke Invitational, Bernstein won the hammer throw, and Allen finished second in the shot put. In women's basketball, Jessica January will be returning to DePaul as an assistant coach. January was a key player for the Blue Demons from 2013 to 2017. After that, she played overseas and was an assistant high school coach in Minnesota. In other women's basketball news, they picked up another transfer player. She is guard Kate Novick from Morehead State. Novick, a native of Belarus, averaged 11 points a game the last 2 seasons. And that's sports. Back to you, Francesca.
Thanks, Riley. When we come back, DePaul students organize their very own music festival in Lincoln Park.
That story after the break.
2004 Skateboard Championship.
High school, moped.
What about you, Slim? Anything?
Something.
Looks like Slim's got a little paper cut.
It's nothing.
Come on, man. No, I'm gonna make you tell me.
Hey, kidney transplant.
When, dude? I didn't know you were sick.
I was donating it.
Someone in your family?
You gave your kidney to a complete stranger?
Yeah, saved his life.
Wow. All right. Everyone can save a life by being a living organ donor on matchingdonors.com.
Students and community members recently flocked to Jonquil Park near the DePaul campus. I was there as a group of DePaul students held their 3rd annual free music festival.
Started as a grad party in my basement, and I've had a lot of friends, such as this one, Alexander Lair, who inspired me in 2023 to upgrade the thing and do the thing bigger and have a lot more people at it, and here we are. So, woo!
It's called Grant Slam, and it fits right in at Jonquil Park, down the street from DePaul's Lincoln Park campus. It's a free festival showcasing local music and arts.
Back against the wall and they'll be back for more till I learn to face it.
Grant Lenve, a senior music student at DePaul, is leaving an impressive legacy of putting on an independent and free festival.
It's not just me, despite the name. A great board, Maddie Volkel, Erica Doan, Alexander Lair, and like 50 plus other people who've helped in many, many ways. They bring a rug, they bring a table, everyone brings something and they bring a smile.
Local artists like Surf Cowboy and Lace for Leisure played, while across the park, vendors sold everything from homemade bread to bracelets. Grant and his team balanced managing a festival with having fun with friends. The vending supervisor, Maddie Volkel, started helping out after writing an article on 2023's Grantchella, one of Grant Slam's predecessors.
I was really inspired by how fun it was and how just it was more elevated than just a college party. It was this celebration of art and friendship. That sounds so silly, but really it's just the community that people are a part of. We are lucky to live in a city that has such an awesome art scene, has a really amazing accessible music scene, and there are so many talented people here, and it's just awesome that we get to highlight them and put them in the spotlight for a day.
Whether it's 20 people in a basement or 500 in a park, love of local art thrives at Grant Slam. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Vivian Madsen.
That's all for this week's edition of Good Day DePaul. You can keep up with us by visiting our Vimeo channel at Good Day DePaul or by going to goodday.depaul.edu.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And if you have any news tips, message us through the Good Day DePaul social media channels.
Thanks for watching. I'm Francesca Corona.
I'm Vivian Madsen.
And I'm Riley Moulton. Have a good day, DePaul.